Hey gardeners, Amy here with Garden Up. Today we're going to be following up on this lawn alternative experiment that I started last fall. So first I want to say Happy Earth Day everybody. Today's Friday, April 22nd of 2022, and hopefully anyway if I get this posted in time. But I wanted to follow up on this lawn alternative experiment, and I think this is a fitting topic for this week since lawns are doing a lot of damage to our planet, and I'd like to do my part to fix that. So last fall I posted a video about this experiment, which I'm trying 4 different lawn alternatives and 3 different sowing methods. So what I did was over here we have micro clover. Over here we have a dryland mix. Here is crimson clover, and over there is Dutch clover. And the different sowing methods I tried were first cutting out the sod, second was aeration, and the third was just raking existing lawn and seeding directly on top of the lawn. So what I wanted to do was to compare the different seeds, to compare the different plants, and see which one of them I liked, but also which sowing method was the most effective. Because there's so many different instructions online, it gets a little confusing and overwhelming. And so I thought I'm just going to try it for myself. The problem I had was that I laid down the seed way too late. It was way too close to our first frost, and it is apparent that that did not work. However, the frost blanket, we'll see today if it made a difference. Alright, so this is the micro clover, and only a few patches of it really survived. It did get kind of drowned in this spot, and the seed got pushed away, so this spot I didn't expect anything to germinate, but I'm kind of disappointed that this is all that survived winter. However, again, that was kind of my fault because I got it planted way too late. This is the dryland mix, and almost nothing survived until you get really close to the frost blanket. This is the crimson clover. Look at how hardy this was. All of these came right up, no problem, they're still growing. Now this is probably not the best thing to mix into your lawn because it gets quite a bit taller than most people want their lawns. But if you just need a good cover crop, it might work in a field or something like that. And it's so pretty. I love those flowers, they're so gorgeous. And then this is the Dutch clover. There's a couple that are struggling through, but they're just really, most of them died. And it has been a really cold spring. So that's not too much of a surprise. Now let's go check the other sowing methods over here. This one was aeration, and we have the micro clover that came up fine on top. I don't really see much difference. Like here's a couple of holes. I made sure the seeds went down into the holes, but I don't think that made much difference. This is the dryland mix. Okay, and then here's the crimson clover. Very hardy, I think this plant is for sure. And then this, don't see much of any of the Dutch clover. Okay, and then let's go check the rake method. I don't see much of anything over here that survived. Oh, 1 yarrow. There's 1 yarrow and a couple of chamomiles right here. This is from the dryland mix. Yay, something happened. But even the crimson clover over here didn't do anything. I mean, we walked on this spot a couple of times, but not enough to kill things. Okay, so just uncovered, sowing too late. The crimson clover obviously did the best. Micro clover did okay, and the Dutch and the dryland mix really didn't do much of anything. In the aeration section, it was about the same. And in the raking section, almost nothing came up, so that's really disappointing. But now let's check under the floating row cover, because I'm pretty sure I did buy myself a few extra weeks with this. So let's reveal under the cover. Oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah, some stuff happened here. All right, so the micro clover under the floating row cover came back a lot better. It's still patchy, but that may have been the sowing method, to be perfectly honest. It may not have been even. Okay, this is the dryland mix, and look how much of that is coming up. This is the grass. This looks like a forget-me-not. That's not in the mix. I need to get the label and see what all's in it. Here's the crimson clover. It's much bigger when you compare them side by side, but it came back, you know, real well. I'm happy with that. And then the Dutch clover right here, it's alive. It's tiny, but it's thick. It germinated and it didn't die. So that's cool. Should we do another reveal over here? underneath the frost blanket. This is the aeration, all these happy dandelions. And then over there, right this line right here in the middle, I don't know if you can see it on screen, but it's right there, is where aeration stopped and we just started raking. That is kind of striking, the difference in germination. Okay, so the micro clover did really well right here in this spot, but as soon as we cross the line to the raking, the germination rate just stops. There's nothing over there, even under where the blanket was. So I don't know what happened exactly, but I see a similar thing here with the dryland mix. This is aeration, and a lot of it has come up. This is the grass. The dryland mix has a grass, and then I think it's 2 or 3 very drought-tolerant plants. It's got some chamomile, and it's got yarrow, and it had one other thing, I think. So that looks like a chamomile. This is yarrow, and then whatever this is, I think must have been part of the mix. But yeah, as soon as we cross this line, it fizzles out, and then over there is just nothing. But that was outside of the blanket. Crimson clover did not do as well over here. Not entirely sure why, but again, as soon as we hit that line, it just stops. There's almost nothing over there. And then the Dutch clover, well, let's see, there's a clump there. There's a clump right there. There's another clump right over there, but other than that, almost nothing. Grass that was here before sure was happy though. But yeah, that is a very interesting difference to where when we hit the, right here is where the methods changed. And I'm gonna say that raking alone is definitely not the way to go, perhaps. So we're going to do a quick initial conclusion here, just from my observations. Floating row cover definitely gave me a couple more weeks. So had I planted on time, this is about what it probably would have looked like for each of these sowing methods. Crimson clover was definitely the hardiest, but again, that's not the best one for like lawn alternatives, so whatever. Micro clover was the next most hardy, which actually surprises me a bit. I thought it would be Dutch. And then the Dutch and the dryland mix were kind of about the same. I'm still going to be doing a lot of follow-up videos on this, so you'll have to wait and see what they actually look like when they're blooming and growing and when they're all gorgeous. As far as sowing methods, cutting the sod gave the best germination rate, but it also allowed for a lot of weeds came up. The others is you're mostly competing with the grass that was here before. But there are quite a lot of dandelions over there, obviously. They liked the floating row cover also. But what I don't like about the sod cutting, aside from the weeds, is also how the seed moved. It clumped. So I'm not sold on aeration as like the thing that makes things germinate, because I was expecting the seeds to fall down into holes and get deeper roots and all those things, and that's not what I'm observing. But just raking, I'll have to keep trying this. But that was really disappointing. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to clean up this area and I'm going to weed it, and then I'm going to re-sow everything. So we can continue this experiment. I'm going to keep watering it as I did last fall, which was 1 or 2 times a day for about 15 minutes is all it needs. And then I also want to talk about a new seed that I found a few weeks ago I'm really excited about. But let's get this all cleaned up first. So I've essentially reset this entire experiment. It took a bit of time, but we popped up most of the dandelions. I missed a couple. And we kind of tidied this up, just raking it. I re-punched holes over here, and then I raked the back section to get back down to the dirt where germination has to occur, like the seeds have to touch the soil in order to germinate. That may be what screwed that up. I might have had too much dead leaf debris or something in between the seeds and the soil, so that might be what messed that up. Anyway, I'm going to re-sow everything. So real quick, I had the Dutch white clover, I had the micro clover, I had the crimson clover that was here, and I have a little bit of dryland mix left right here. So I'm not going to go into details on each of these because I already did that in the last video, but I do want to show a couple new mixes that I found a couple of weeks ago, and I'll put links to all of these in the description below once again. So this is a new one, V-Lawn Mix This has clover, red fescue, a couple other fescues, and then creeping thyme and self-heal, which are both really nice flowering ground covers, which is pretty neat. And this is what I really wanted, what I'm so excited about, is this one is all native plants. And so that's something I didn't really know about clover, but it makes sense as, Dutch. It's not a native plant, so the bees love it, but it's going to spread, and I'm trying to lean more towards natives whenever I can. So to find a native bee lawn mix is very exciting. This was not cheap. This was $70, I think, for this little 1 pound bag, but it says 200 square feet. I'm gonna probably spread it a little thin and make it go a little farther than that. But I'm gonna use this in my front lawn because I'm just really excited about this. This has a couple types of fescue, and then blue-eyed grass, yak yarrow, and self-heal. And all of those are native plants that when they spread, they'll only do good things here in the inland Northwest. I'm just super excited about that. I'm gonna put that in the front yard over here, and then I was thinking of using this one in the front yard at my new rental. So I'll be doing that on Friday, which hopefully will be the day that I post this video. So that won't be on this video, but I'll show that later when I update the duplex. That's that. I'm gonna start spreading. High hopes about seeding the lawn today, but it is just not going to happen. The amount of raking I have to do to get down to the soil is going to take me the rest of the day, and I need to get this video off if I'm going to post it on Friday. So I think I'm actually going to try thatching, like I'll rent a thatcher or something to come in here and really just tear up this lawn, and that'll give me good soil contact, which is what I need in order to grow these things. So I'll do that. It'll be in the next update. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys, especially all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to stay tuned to this project as well as all future gardening videos. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the garden.